Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope
Morning.
you're all doing well this morning. Lots of lovely faces with us today. So, for those of you that haven't ever watched us before or seen anything we do, I'm Jasmin. I'm a conversation starter at the Yard. And although at the moment the doors are closed at the Yard because of this awful pandemic we're going through, we are still open and we've transferred our whole programme onto online things. So, you're going to see us all the time. So, let me introduce a few of the lovely ladies we've got with us this morning. So, Georgia, she is a conversation starter at the Yard also. Good morning, Georgia.
Good morning, Jasmin. How are you doing today?
I'm actually doing okay, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing brilliantly. Sunshine.
Oh, happy days. Happy days. Okay, and then we've got the lovely Laurel. Laurel is a volunteer at the Yard for us. How are you this morning, Laurel?
I'm okay, but it's a bit cloudy because of the weather outside. It's really
rubbish. Absolutely rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know it's a bit dreary, but we're not going to be dreary. We're going to be sunshiny and happy because we're going to have a really good chat this morning and talk about lots of interesting stuff.
Yeah, it goes like that. Hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've also got the lovely Beth with us this morning, who is one of our uni students. How are you, Beth?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Good. And Sarah, another lovely uni student. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Jasmin? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. I'm good, thank you. And last but in no means least, we have the lovely Lauren, who is another one of our uni students. We're just inundated with them. Good morning, Lauren. How are you?
Hello. I'm good, thank you. I'm tired, but I'm good.
Yeah, I was just saying actually, just before we came online, I feel tired today as well. But and also look, here's Chelsea in the comments, who's another one of our lovely students. Good morning, Chelsea. So Chelsea's just having really bad internet this morning. There's just so many gremlins in the system. So she was supposed to be joining us, but it's just not working out. So we're going to have her watching us online, and we're going to speak to her via that method this morning. So before we kick off, we've got a few things we're going to talk about today, but where we normally do our internal weather, and actually one of the subjects we're going to talk about today is heroes. So let's do, as you know, we like to do our internal weather and see how we're all feeling, but we're just going to mix it up a little bit today. And we are going to say, I'm going to ask all of you guys, what superhero would you be? How you're feeling today, what mindset you're in. Tell me the superhero that perhaps represents how you are feeling. And I'm going to kick off with Georgia.
Oh, brilliant. So today, Jasmin, I am going to say a controversial superhero because I'm going to pick Poison Ivy, who is technically a villain in the baddie in the Batman comics. But it's a bit wishy really because she just cares about the environment and she wants to stop humans from destroying everything, which is kind of fair enough really. And she wants to protect the animals and the wildlife and all of that. So I think today that I'm a little bit of Poison Ivy, a bit controversial, but
I like that. Yeah, it's not such a well-known one, is it? I have heard of Poison Ivy, but what film is it or
Batman
cartoon is it from? Batman. Oh, okay, cool. I'm not down with the superheroes, guys. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to, teach me some of this. I'm not. It's not my forte.
We've already learned something new today, Jasmin.
I've learned something new already today. Happy Wednesday.
There we go.
Honestly, we're always learning.
3 minutes in, already learned something new. Yeah.
Every day's a school day, guys. Every day. We're always learning. Yesterday in our team meeting, I learned a new word, which I can't even remember what it is now. But
amygdala.
That's it. Amygdala. Honestly, these lot are a brainy bunch. They're teaching me a lot. Come on then, Beth. Let's find out, what superhero would you be?
I'm feeling a bit like Superman. I've got my kryptonite today, which is my uni assignment. My uni assignment is my kryptonite. It's making me feel a bit, can I do this today?
I love that. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, Superman. Yeah, that's a great one. I have heard of Superman, guys, so don't worry. I'm not that rubbish. We'll just say, Bianca says, today I am feeling like Multiple Man, Marvel. Never heard of Multiple Man in my life. Is anyone else?
I'm guessing it's a man who can make multiple duplicates of himself.
That's what
I'm going to guess I'm going to guess that's what he is. But if Bianca's watching us still, if you could comment,
what
does Multiple Man do? What's his superpower?
Oh, I know. Good guess, she said. So Chelsea said, I'd say that I'm Hulk today. She's annoyed that her internet has let her down. Oh, yeah. You got that real big honestly, probably one of the most frustrating things about this whole lockdown is we're so reliant on the internet, aren't we? And when it doesn't play ball, when we can't get it going, it's so frustrating. So yeah, Chelsea, we are missing you this morning, but yeah, we're really pleased that you're online chatting to us, and hopefully by the next time you come on, we'll have it all sorted. Get all these kids back to school. Let us have our internet back. That's what I say.
So I can actually use the internet.
We don't want Fortnite. We want to do work.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, come on then, Lauren. What about you? Superhero, what would you be?
So, fun fact, I've never actually watched anything with any superhero in it. I think when I was little, I remember Wolverman. I can't actually remember why. I've never watched it.
But was that Wolverine?
Me and Wolverine.
Yeah.
What did you call him? Wolverman?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the X-Men TV show in like the 90s? That was like the best thing in the world.
I've never watched anything like that.
You know what's the Fantastic Four?
Never. I don't even know who the Fantastic Four are.
No, I don't either, Lauren. I'm with you there.
Georgia's like, this is not acceptable.
I can't believe it. It's like my whole childhood. It's just like you're setting fire to it. Like.
The most I've actually watched is probably Ben 10.
Okay. I'd say that Ben 10 counts as a superhero. So
I'm going to go for Ben 10 because all I remember is his watch, and he could just change it and be different.
Yeah,
and
I love that.
So I think I'm Ben 10 because at the moment I'm really tired, but I have to press my watch and get into energy
zone
and just the zone. So
love it.
Ben 10, that's the reason.
Love it. So yeah, Bianca said it is where you have to do lots of stuff at the same time. So that's multiple man. He sounds like quite well. I'll have to have a look at that later and see. Sarah, come on then. Tell us about what superhero would you be?
Okay. This morning I feel like Bionic Woman.
Hello.
Yes. I think
today
I'm ready to go and tackle anything because yesterday I had a bit of a chat with Bianca when we were with Beth, and we're just talking about combining uni work, placement, and my own personal life and work. And I think I'm ready to tackle everything. As much as I have to do all this, I'm ready to go for it. So with bionic powers, I'm ready to go.
I love that. That's what we want to hear. Absolutely. I mean, Bionic Woman, I've never actually heard of her either, but Sarah, I love her already, just from what you've just said then. That's brilliant.
I think it's showing my age now. It's a very old one.
Well, I tell you what then, listen to this. So I'm going to show my age now. I'm not sure if she's technically a superhero, but I'm going to be She-Ra. Anyone?
I know that.
He-Man, She-Ra?
Yeah.
Come on. Used to love that when I was little. She-Ra, she's powerful, she's strong. And I'm a bit like Sarah today. I'm on countdown for my children going back to school. We're halfway through the week. And I feel like, I've just probably completed the toughest 11 weeks of my life. And I've got this, ladies. I've got this. I'm strong. I can do it. So I'm feeling good. I'm She-Ra. I'm tackling everything head on. That was quite good, actually, wasn't it? All of our little... Oh, Laurel, did I forget you?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Laurel.
Jasmin.
I got so Lauren, innit?
I got so consumed then that I wanted to tell you that I was She-Ra. I forgot you. I'm so sorry, Laurel. Come on, tell us who you are, lovely.
I think I'm Robin from Batman. You're Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
I'm Robin because it's a bit cloudy. It's a bit like a bit dark, but it's still quite bright still.
And
and he's also a bit of a sidekick, so he's a bit on the side.
Yeah. Oh, I love that, Lauren.
Robin's great though. Robin has like all of the like martial arts.
Yeah.
All the the
Kung Fu.
And actually, Batman would be nothing without Robin.
Yeah, it's true.
Do you know what I mean? So you're a very important person, Laurel. So don't ever forget that. You are, doing a good job with Batman there. Oh, brilliant. So actually, none of us even said the same person. We all thought of different superheroes then, didn't we? Yeah. That's really good. Yeah. Okie dokie, let's move on then from superheroes. So I thought we'll just have a little chat about what's going on in the news today, and something I'm just really interested to get you guys' opinions on this. Something I am hearing all the time on the news at the moment, Harry and Meghan. What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Right, come on, Lauren's got her hand up straight away. Come on.
So I had to stop drinking my water for that. Basically, on Instagram, the other day, there was a trailer, and Oprah Winfrey is interviewing Harry and Meghan.
Yeah.
And it releases on Sunday, and my mouth was gobsmacked because I genuinely think it's actually violating the royal family, and I think that it will go legal. I feel like they're gonna, because from what it was looking like, it actually looked like it was going to be juicy, that they were going to be releasing like some news that they shouldn't be. So I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it, because that's never actually been heard of, has it? Like, for them to be.
No.
Well, I tell you what I think is ironic.
Well, not since Diana, I guess.
No. But I just think, who? Diana?
Oh no, I know who she is. I didn't hear what you said.
People's princess.
What? No. My mum loved her. Absolutely was in love with her.
Oh,
but I think
most people were in love with Diana.
I think how she was. I think that even though she was a bit people's whatever, but I think what she did was good. I think what Meghan's doing, I don't agree with.
I don't. Well, I was just going to say, I find it very ironic. They've stepped back from the royal family. They've moved over to the States because they want to live more of a private life.
This is hilarious.
But now they're going on Oprah Winfrey. They've done a big, massive interview. Apparently, it's going to be over 2 parts. And I don't know if you've seen on the news this week that Harry's done a bus tour with James Corden. He does the... Yeah, James Corden. Don't tell me you don't know who James Corden is. I can't speak to you anymore, Lauren. You don't know who James Corden is.
I think I need to read the news.
The Late Late Show. Google it literally after this. Go into YouTube and put the Late Late Show in. It'll come up with him and it's a show on American TV. It's called the Late Late Show. And
have you ever seen Gavin and Stacey?
Oh my God!
Out you go. You need some serious education.
Gavin and Stacey.
Oh, Lauren. Pardon?
I'm going to be controversial here.
Go on then.
I disagree with you, all of you. And I'll tell you for why. I think that it all comes down to consent. And I think that Harry was born into a family that, is always in the public eye. And I think that now what they're trying to do, they're not necessarily saying that they don't want any attention. They're saying that they want to choose as and when they have that attention and what they decide to do, instead of being hounded. And
I understand that, and and I completely get that side of the coin. But I disagree with you in the fact I think it's all to do with money. Yeah, that's what I think. Do you know how much money they're earning with this Netflix contract they've signed? And I honestly think Meghan is all about. I like the royal family. I'm an advocate of the royal family. I do like them. I like Harry, and I liked Diana. I like William. Meghan, there's something about her that just doesn't sit right with me, and I feel like she's taken Harry down a path where we don't want him to go. Yeah, she's changing our prince.
Yeah, she is.
I will say this though. You're saying about money. I don't think that any royal family member is on the breadline.
They're not.
I think if anything, they're going to have less money going out and doing this stuff in America than they would do if they stayed in the UK and they were part of the royal family, because they have bare money and mansions and estates and multiple homes and all of this stuff.
Haven't they had to give up a lot of that?
I don't think it's actually to do with the money. I just think Meghan is a complete and utter rebel, and she doesn't like. To be honest with you, she knew what she'd be marrying into.
Yeah, she knew it.
She knew what she'd be marrying into, and whatever. And obviously, Harry, he didn't. You know, he had his moments, as we all know. We saw it, but you know, he went away, was in the army, and things like that. But I genuinely do believe that it's Meghan behind all of it. I'm so sorry. I just do not.
I completely agree with you, Lauren.
I am going to be on Georgia's side here. I think I'm going to be on Georgia's side. I'm going to disagree with all others. Fine, we all love the royal family. I know United Kingdom, we love the royal family. But why is it that we are all blaming Meghan here? Harry is doing this because he likes it. If he didn't like it, I don't think you'll be doing this. He agreed to move to America. He agreed to love Meghan because he loves Meghan. Everything that they're doing it as a couple, and they're agreeing to it. So I don't think we should really be pinpointing that Meghan is doing this. The interview with Oprah, they are all in it together. So we cannot be saying all this. Now that he's moved out, now that's okay, they've taken all this from him because he's not part of the royal family anymore. So he's just like anybody. He's free to talk about anything. He can talk about the royal family. He's free to do that.
But I think if he didn't want to be a part of the royal family, then he could have, if he really didn't want to be, he could have left. He chose to stay. And then when Meghan came about, all of a sudden, there's all these little things are going on. Prior to Meghan,
I reckon that his eyes were opened because when they did get together and they were going out in public and, you know, all this, that and the other, there's so much...
Sorry, that was my dog running past. Hang on.
But yeah, sorry. Oh God, where was I? I think that his eyes were opened because when they got together and when they were going out and all this, the comparison between Meghan and Kate was absolutely shocking. Like, if Meghan did anything, even remotely, you know, her
clothes, they criticised.
I think that's because she's mixed race.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying it's because there's that racism, and I reckon that Harry probably got to the point where he was like, actually, no, I'm not going to be part of this society that is basically openly racist to my fiance or my girlfriend. And I mean, he's going to have a kid with her, so that's now then his children.
They're having their second one. She's pregnant.
Exactly. So, like at the time, if he's young, you know, she's going to be the mother of my children. My children are going to be, you know, biracial, etc. Then why would he want to stay in that? Why would he want to do like how? If I was in that situation, I'd be like, no, allow it. I'm off because I'm not going to have someone be racist to my children, to my wife, to my husband.
But then, Georgia, I have to disagree with you in the fact that, well, hold on a second. They chose to take a step back because they didn't like. And I understand what you're saying. It's about choice. But Meghan made such a point about how intrusive everything was. Well, just stay out the limelight then. If it's that terrible and you hate it that much, you don't go and do such a big Oprah Winfrey show. Don't do anything. Take a backseat. Keep your family and your children safe. But they're not doing that. They're you know. So I think it's a bit hypocritical, to be honest.
Beth, what did you want to say? Because I think Beth had a hand up.
It's hard to say to step out the limelight because especially when they were getting married, all of the drama in the press about her father, I have to empathise with her there because that's not something that you'd really want sharing publicly, is it? It's something that the whole country was involved in. When did we need to be? No.
But she knew what she was getting into, so...
Yeah.
But then how can you say...
I'm not being funny.
What you're saying... Hold on. I've got to say this, though. So are you saying that she should have not fallen in love with him because of his family?
No, I didn't say that. What I said was she knew what she was getting into.
Yeah.
And also, I actually think that I don't empathise with her at all about the father situation, because I think that actually there's a lot of truth behind that. And perhaps her dad was the one who wasn't invited to the wedding, who's not allowed to see the children. So you have to remember there's two sides to every coin. So Meghan isn't the innocent party in all of this. So what I think, you know, you guys are sort of pro Meghan, where there's another side to Meghan, in my opinion. I think Lauren agrees with me. I feel like there's something quite vindictive about her. I feel like she's got an ulterior motive to everything. And you've got to remember, she was an actress and she likes the limelight. So there's those elements of her personality. You know, I think, you know, if you choose to marry into the royal family, there are certain things you have to accept that are going to happen. And you are going to be followed by the press. You are going to have that intrusion. And I'm not saying that's wrong or right, but it's part of accepting what you are, what's going to happen. Go on, Laurel.
I just have like a few things to say, but the first thing is that whose father picked heart surgery over marriage? Like, I know in the UK it's a bit different because we have the NHS and it's just the date is the date. But I know in America you can just choose when you go for, like, I don't know about American healthcare very much, but I've heard about it. You pay for it, so he has money. I'm guessing he has money, so he can just choose when he has his heart surgery. He picked to have it on the day of their wedding. Why? Why is this? Is something so bad?
Did he though?
Don't know. But that's what.
Exactly. That's what I mean. And this is where sometimes as well we read things in the press, and the press has said, right, he chose to have his heart surgery on that day, but we actually don't know. Did he? Because I'm pretty sure as a father, if he wanted to be at that wedding, why did he write her those letters that we saw in the press? So I guess we have to take a pinch of salt with everything we read, don't we? But let me just read out. Sorry, go on, Lauren.
I was going to say, in response to Bianca's question, but I was going to say, I think Harry was different before he even met Meghan anyway. He was different to William in a sense.
He was the party prince.
Yeah, and but he still chose to be a part of the royal family. He still chose, you know, because he knew what he was getting into. Look at his old girlfriend. She actually ended up leaving him because she couldn't take that pressure, because she knew what she was getting. And you have to kind of respect her for it, because she could see what she could potentially be getting into. She said, "Do you know what? It's not for me." But Meghan has chose to come and just call and be a rebel and just rebel out against the royal family. And it's just disrespectful, to be honest. I'm not saying that they're all exempt, but I just think, and in terms of the press, I do think that the press have been racist towards Meghan. And the joke is, she's very fair in complexion. It's not even like she has this, you know, she's darker or my skin tone. She's quite light. So I do think that they've been a lot harsher on Meghan, yes. So I don't deny that, you know, that the press don't give her a hard time, or even those pictures that they took and released of her and Harry walking in the park, and they didn't get do you remember? They didn't consent to the pictures. Pictures got released.
I don't remember them.
Meghan, and she was walking in the park with Harry, and they didn't consent. But I do think there is both sides. But 100%, I do hold Meghan more at fault.
I think that she just gave him the confidence to leave, to be honest, because he was never happy. He was so miserable, and he just acted out, and he just did that rebellious stuff. I mean, we're talking about a guy who had to pray during his mother's funeral, and be photographed. Imagine that. I can't think of anything worse than being at my mother's funeral and having paparazzi taking pictures of me
and
crying.
He was traumatized from that. He was very traumatized. But that's
why
100%. Stayed out of the press.
This is why, you know, I think this is another reason why Harry doesn't want Meghan to go through the same thing that his mom went through, with the paparazzi everywhere. And this is what happens here.
Yeah,
it's all about consent.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, I saw a clip of Harry on the bus with James Corden, and he actually said to James Corden, he said, "I saw what my mum went through, and she actually went through that by herself, because then at the time she'd obviously divorced from Prince Charles, and he said, you know, I could see the same thing happening to us and to Meghan, and he said it was really hard, but we had each other. So imagine how my mother must have felt. And don't get me wrong, as much as I'm not a big Meghan lover, I can see that it must be horrendous. So Bianca's just said, why are we more angry with Meghan than Prince Andrew?
I'm absolutely more angry with the Prince Andrew situation.
I just had to quickly Google it. I literally just had to quickly grab my phone and Google it. I was like, what is Bianca on about? I was like, oh.
I feel like that hasn't really got as much. I think that was more subtle, not in a sense of like. Obviously,
but why is that?
I don't know. Maybe because they're trying to cover him, and I'm now not making an excuse, by the way, for Prince Andrew, because I think what he's done is obviously disgusting. But what I'm saying is that because of his position, because of his class, maybe his colour as well, where he's white, he's able to get away with it more in comparison to Meghan. I think.
Well, it feels a bit like.
Think about it this way, though. So Meghan's crime is that she fell in love with a prince, and they've left the royal family. His crime is hanging out with people.
His crime is grooming.
Yeah, but what's Meghan's crime? Like, why is she?
She's a rebel. I'm so sorry. She's caused so much trouble. It's not a case of she just fell in love.
Even if she's a rebel, is that worse? Or not really a big deal?
I wouldn't say it's not really a big deal. It's not worse, and I'm not excusing Andrew because I think what he did is disgusting. But I'm saying I think the reason is because of his position, who he is, and the colour of his skin.
But don't you think that the Prince Andrew thing has felt like it's been a bit more swept under the carpet by the higher officials?
Yeah,
things like that.
The whole Meghan and Harry thing deserved one small article, maybe in like the Daily Mail or something, and then that's over with. They've left her off. So what? Just let them live their life. But with the whole Prince Andrew thing, that should have like been everywhere. That should have been like number one, like in every newsroom, in my opinion.
I do agree.
Yeah. No, I agree as well. It definitely feels like there's a bit of a cover-up going on, and
absolutely.
The people that are to be at the top bit.
Wasn't he friends as well with a paedophile or someone in America?
Yeah, Epstein.
I do remember. Yeah, I do remember that. But I just think I don't think it's a fair comparison between the two. But I would say I 100% do agree that Andrew is, he should be getting the same sentence as if that was someone out in like our society, like the working class society. Because if that was the working class society,
that wouldn't have been swept under the carpet.
I think what Bianca was kind of trying to say is that we're so passionately saying Meghan's done this and Meghan's done that, but we're not saying, oh my God, like this whole situation. But we're not saying, oh my God, this whole situation. But we're not saying, oh my God.
I think it's because obviously we were talking about Meghan and Harry. That was the question, as opposed to the royal family as a whole.
We didn't start off the conversation saying which is worse, Andrew or.
Yeah. I wanted to just jump in. So I've just magically appeared, like kapow. So when Lauren said, that's not a fair comparison. And I just want to pull you up on that, Lauren, and tell you why it's exactly a fair comparison. We're talking about the same members of the royal family. We're talking about Prince Andrew, who hangs about with Jeffrey Epstein and who not only exploits children, but traffics them around the world to sexually assault them. Yeah, children go missing. There is a lady in prison whose black book is absolutely horrendous. Yeah, let's make no doubt about it that Prince Andrew hangs out with paedophiles if he isn't one himself. We judge each other by our friendships. You're very right in when you suggest that he's probably got off of it because of the colour of his skin. Yeah? But it's that very fact that it's the colour of Meghan's skin that has caused a problem for her.
I disagree.
The press, racist press, the Mail, the Sun, all the rest of it, they're racist press. honed into something. Who cares whether they're leaving? Who cares? What's it to do?
A lot of people do, actually.
No,
a lot of royal followers really care.
Yeah.
They care, but they care because of the information that the press give us.
No,
They'll
but it's not
information.
it's not supposed to be. You know what the royal family's going to do. That is the royal family.
We shouldn't be accepting this. Let's be quite clear. But whilst I personally don't care whether Harry and Meghan stay or go, I think that it's a bit ironic moaning about the press while being on the press. Yeah?
Yeah, that's the ironic thing I see as well.
I think there's an
and that's how I started off the conversation. It's ironic.
Yeah, absolutely. But I also think alongside that, but we have to acknowledge that how Meghan has been treated is disproportionate in comparison to other members of the royal family whose crime is actually a crime. Yeah. What Jeffrey Epstein and other people in his field have done, including Prince Andrew, including Donald Trump, who was arrested twice for sexual assault on a 13-year-old. But
nothing's happened to him either.
No, because they bullied that 13-year-old and her family, and she withdrew her charges. And that's a legitimate case because she's never been identified. She's remained anonymous throughout the years. Yeah, so let's be quite clear. But who Andrew hangs out with are paedophiles who do some horrific things to children. If that's your mate, you're going to prison. Yeah, because he's a prince. He's not off it. And so if I think there's a problem in the royal family that I want to have a passionate debate about, I want to do that. So what I feel is this Harry and Meghan thing is a distraction again from real problems in the royal family, which is in the royal family, you've got a paedophile, mate. What are you doing about it? Absolutely nothing. In fact,
why is he still there? Why has he not had to go to the...
If it's a working class person...
Why is he not on the list they have?
Well, of course he's not on the list, because if you're a working class person and your husband becomes worried, people are worried about his behaviour, you can't let your grandchildren hang out with him. Social services are involved. Why is there one rule for us and another for them? How is that okay? And on that note, I shall leave you all to continue debating. I shall vanish back into the air.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that what I heard the other day, the American police are still waiting to interview Andrew. And for some reason, then he's not having to go and answer their questions. So I'm not really sure why that is.
I know this is very wayward now, but on that, even George Floyd's trial is this month, and there's not really been much publicity on that. The guy who is getting charged, he's being charged with second-degree murder. It's not even. Really? Yeah, it's not even as high as
racist as F in the media. It's because they're all racist as in the media.
Yeah, it's you know what? I just think if we're going to talk, it's very funny how, and I link it in terms of the position, because obviously he's a white working man. He's a police officer who works for the country. He's able to get away with second-degree murder. If that was a black person or a minority ethnic group, you're finished. Absolutely finished. That trial would have happened time ago.
He probably wouldn't have even made its trial. He would have been killed there on the spot, probably.
It's true.
Probably
they would have shot you. It's true. It's true.
Absolutely.
So maybe it's that position, isn't it? But then again, speaking of which, it has it has the flip side, because obviously Meghan has the position, doesn't she? But yeah,
I know. It's gosh, I feel like that's the most
we should all do a little wiggle to get that out of our systems.
You're just today, Jasmin.
I know. I didn't think, just by saying, shall we talk about Harry and Meghan, that would then bring out the most passionate discussion I think we've all had in a very long time.
Jasmin's face was like thunder. I
was literally getting no. I was like, Jasmin, in my head I was thinking, just chill out, Jasmin. You're live on, you're streaming, just chill out.
You're all friends here, okay?
Right, as soon as I get off this, I'm on the phone to Meghan. No, but it's funny though.
Wouldn't that be interesting though, to discuss that next week, or perhaps when we've actually watched the interview, to see what comes out?
Let's do that.
Is the interview actually going to go on? Is it going to be streamed Is it coming up on
Don't
television?
know.
They were talking about.
Does anyone know?
If anyone is watching this, if you could look that up for us and then put it in the comments, that would be
really
great.
pleased.
Because then we don't have to do that.
But literally, I was going to finish off this conversation just by saying, so who is actually going to watch the documentary? Because I, for one, am. I think it'll be so interesting.
I genuinely think
get it because I don't have Netflix, so I'm out.
It might not be on Netflix.
I don't think it's on Netflix because Opera has her own. It's going to be on
ITV
on Monday.
Chelsea's here to save the day.
8 p.m. Oh,
she said it's going to be shown on ITV on Monday. So by Wednesday, we will have all watched it, I think.
That's going to be so intense. Everyone's going to be buzzing.
Wednesday morning, tea and toast. We're going to dissect the interview for the first part. But can we all just make a promise this time? We're not going to get irate. We're not going to get angry. We're just going to have a nice, chilled conversation.
Cross the fingers.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Thing is, though, I guess the whole point of these whole conversations is, we've all got different opinions. Sometimes we agree with each other, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're going to get passionate about things, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? And that's what the Tea and Toast is all about, finding what we are all passionate about.
You can about idols and icons. Our topic today is actually heroes.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It kind of runs along, doesn't it? What are you going to say, Lauren?
I think it's good because passionate discussions. I've learned something from today that I didn't necessarily know before. So
definitely. And actually, sometimes it will make you leave this conversation and think, I'm just going to have a little look into that because I wasn't 100%. I think sometimes if a conversation leaves you with then you want to go away and find out more, then that's got to be a good thing, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. On that note, let's move on to heroes. Something a little bit more chilled and something nice we can all talk about. So today is it National Hero Day today? Well, we'll say it is. It's our National Hero Day today.
What I wanted to know is, what is a hero?
It's not someone who wears a cape.
Or is it? But what is a hero?
A selfless person, a just genuine good person, someone who, let's say, get the undivided attention of all of us and causes changes.
Yeah. I'd say a hero is generally someone that you look up to. So someone that you look at and think, they're doing something really good and respect.
Yeah.
That sort of would be my sort of definition, probably.
When I was younger, I think I used to think all heroes are just, the same that everyone had the same heroes, whether that be superheroes or, famous people, celebrities. But I think a hero is who you call a hero. A hero can be your mum, a hero can be a neighbour, a hero can be, the NHS key workers.
Yeah,
a hero can be anyone who for you.
It doesn't have to be a famous person.
Yeah, and it's all subjective down to you, and no one can tell you that such and such isn't a hero.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about this topic this morning because obviously we knew that this is one of the things we'd be talking about, and we said that in our meeting yesterday we'll all go away and have a think. And I was sat there thinking this morning, I haven't got a famous person as a hero. There isn't one person that I could pinpoint and think, oh, they're my hero. And as the more I sat down and thought about it, and really what you just said, Lauren, is that my mum would be my hero. Because to me, she's everything. And she's, not only has she brought me up and, do all the amazing things that mums do, but since becoming a mum myself, it makes you appreciate what your own mum has been through so much more. So for me, my hero would be my mum because I just think she's a legend.
I think, I was thinking about this morning as well, and I was trying to think of 3 people that I would say are my heroes. So I definitely think my mum would be one for the same kind of reasons that you're sort of saying about. Another one would be Greta Thunberg.
Oh, yeah.
She's definitely a hero of mine because she's if you don't know who she is, so she's like 17 now, I think, but she's basically trying to change the world and bring the environmental crisis to like the forefront, and she's trying to, you know, campaign for it and everything. So I think that she's a hero for me for that. And my last one is RuPaul Charles, who does RuPaul's Drag Race, because I think that because I think that he has created such an amazing platform for LGBT plus people, and kind of brought it to the mainstream in a good, positive way that has then allowed other people to kind of get involved with the community and to learn things about LGBT plus people. So yeah, that would be my 3. So
brilliant. Yeah, love that. What about you, Laurel? Well, who's your hero?
I don't really
Have you got
have
one?
a hero, actually. I'm a bit odd. I've never had heroes. I've never I thought of heroes never wearing capes because that's just a thing I thought of. But I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. But I like lots of doctors. There's not one. Well, there is one. Well, there is a cardiologist I like quite a bit. His name's Pascal Moir. He's Swiss. So, but he's also works in the Royal Brampton and in London. So he's a cardiologist, geeky guy. I like him quite a bit. Yeah, it's really hard to find any women in medicine that I actually like, because there isn't many women in medicine still. Like, I think recently I was watching a show and they said that still surgery for women is one of the hardest. Like, they don't have many women surgeons until now. And like,
really,
med entry is now 50-50. They have, let's say, med entry now. It's like 50-50 women and men, but still not many women go into surgery. Still, it's still a man's thing. They're trying to change that.
That sounds like a good hero for you, though, that cardiologist person. What about you, Beth?
Mine is Stacy Dooley.
Oh, I love her.
I love her.
I really love Stacy Dooley. So she is I'd say she's kind of a reporter, kind of not. She started her like TV journey. She was on Blood, Sweat and T-shirts.
Yeah. Yes.
There was a program on the BBC where teenagers who loved fast fashion. So she absolutely loved clothes. And she was sent on this TV show to a sweatshop to see what it was like. And the producers absolutely loved her, so they invited her to report on things. And I think she just covers some really important topics. Her documentaries, the way she reports, is so interesting. But she comes under so much criticism, mostly from male journalists and reporters, for the way that she reports on these topics. But I love her. I think she's brilliant. Her book is incredible.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of her documentaries. I really like her a lot. She's just really relatable, isn't she? She's down to earth.
She's from Luton.
Where is she? Luton.
Yeah,
she's like a Londoner.
She used to work in the airport.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Are you saying, Lauren, you've never heard of her?
Never.
Oh, you've got some Googling to do after this tea and toast, love. You've got.
Is she the one who's on Loose Women?
No.
She was on Stacey Solomon not long ago.
Oh. Who's the one on Loose Women?
Stacey Solomon.
Stacey Solomon.
Completely different person.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do some Googling because I actually don't know who that is. I don't know.
Stacey Dooley did a while ago when Brexit was still like in the news. She went over to Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland, and she went to two parts of it. And she went to one place where they were like, we even though we're in Ireland, we still count ourselves as British. I think I'm like, there's one woman says, I feel more British than British people probably do over here.
I've just Googled her. I've never seen her perform life.
Really?
I've never even seen a picture of her.
Oh, I love her. She's really good. Khadijah's just said, I used to think like superheroes, but as I've got older, I realised it could be people who are just around you, like even if it's one of my older siblings. Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, not that one, sorry. And Chelsea, I absolutely love Lord Alan Sugar. I think The Apprentice is great, and I think whilst they have to work for it, he's given someone the opportunity to achieve their dreams. I love him as well. I think he's brilliant.
He's a very controversial character sometimes, isn't he?
Very.
He was wasn't he like really anti-Brexit, or was he pro-Brexit?
I don't know.
It's one of them.
I don't know.
Piers Morgan on Twitter.
He wanted it, or he really didn't want it. I can't remember which
one or the other.
I think he didn't want it because he thought that like businesses were going to leave the UK after Brexit, and obviously that's now happened to hundreds of companies. So
but The Apprentice. Did any of you guys used to watch The Apprentice? I absolutely
still do.
loved it. Is it still on?
I watch it every year. Yeah, I watch it every year.
They haven't been on last year because of COVID.
Yeah, but it was like the year before.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I love it. Honestly, it's brilliant, isn't it? And I just love the way he's a person where he says it how it is. You know, he's not going to mince his words, is he? And you know, I really like that. Oh, hang on a sec. So look, Chelsea's just said Stacy Dooley did Strictly Come Dancing and was in the news for dating her partner Kevin. Oh,
they were.
I remember her doing Strictly, but I don't remember being in the news. Sarah, who's your hero?
Okay, I'll start by saying that if my mom and my dad were alive, they would be my heroes. But, well, God rest their souls. It's because they were health professionals. And now I believe that first responders and anyone in healthcare profession, they are my heroes. I actually admire their devotion of helping others. And then just thinking of what we've been going through for the last year with all the pandemic, with NHS, the healthcare professionals, that dedication of wanting to help others, I think that actually, it gives them, well, they give undivided attention to all of us. Some of them actually even risking their own lives to save other people, helping people with coronavirus. I work in the health industry, but when it all started, I'll tell you, we had, where you work, there was one case of coronavirus, someone being positive, and I stopped going to work. But then I think of these health professionals where they're working in wards where they've got hundreds and hundreds of people that are coronavirus positive, and they're dedicated, they're going in and out. And to me, those are my heroes.
Well, do you know, I completely agree with you that, Sarah. My sister is a mental health nurse at St Andrews, and when this whole pandemic started last year, there was about half or three quarters of her patients on her ward who had COVID, and that weekend the hospital actually ran out of PPE, but they all still carried on working. They all still treated those patients, and then unfortunately all the staff then come down with COVID as well. I mean, luckily they all made a great recovery, but it just, like you say, it goes to show their determination, their passion, their resilience, because I'm not sure I could do it. You know, it takes a certain special someone to be able to do that sort of job, I think.
Do you know what? I was about to say the exact same thing, Jasmin. It does absolutely take a very, very special person to be able to fill those kinds of roles. So thank you to all your NHS staff that are listening today.
Thank you. We appreciate you so much. Who have we not had? Who's not said? Lauren, have you said your hero yet?
I think Lauren's done.
I agreed with you.
He's still there.
Still there?
I said my mother and my dad. You hear me?
Oh, you froze them.
Frozen?
Yeah. You okay now? Oh
no, you're freezing again.
She's freezing.
She's got the gremlins.
She's got it. She's got it.
Oh no, back, gone. Yep.
You back now?
Hello?
Right, talk now.
Yeah, we can hear you, but it keeps freezing
I think it's because it's StreamYard. I think that it's quite strong for my laptop, so when there's like loads open, it like takes it out. But my guys are, I would say, my parents, 110%, and just Some of my friends, people who've helped me in my faith and in my walk with God, to grow in myself as a person. That's who I would say my heroes are.
Oh, nice. That's not, yeah. I think as well, like, I don't know about you guys, but you know, someone who you consider a hero at a certain stage of your life, it could then change. I think it's very much dependent on what you're going through at that stage of your life, or what it's forever probably evolving, isn't it? But yeah, I think it's definitely important to remember that, you know, heroes don't have to always be the famous people, and sometimes it's the people that are doing the more mundane sort of things that we perhaps class as mundane, but actually are probably doing the biggest
Cleaners.
sort of. Absolutely. If you like what Sarah just said a minute ago, if you look at this whole pandemic, who have been the heroes out of this? It's probably been the people who are the less paid staff, like our cleaners, our grocery market people stocking our shelves, our nurses and that, who are never paid enough money and are still in England haven't had that bonus which they've had in Ireland and Scotland and things like that.
And in France now, they've had it as well.
Really? Have they?
Yeah, France had it recently because they were posting it on Twitter last night saying, why, if France can do it, they were talking about their immigrants from their NHS, their health service. Why can't the English government do it?
Yeah.
I think it's like it's not the actual NHS page, but it's an NHS page, a page for the NHS to support the NHS. So it's on Twitter, one page.
Yeah, I know that's a whole nother subject which we haven't even got time to get into today, but it's not right, is it? There's something completely wrong when the people who we clap for every week, who have, you know, helped us so much out with this whole pandemic, are now being denied a bonus for their time, their energy, and I just think it's completely wrong.
I think the government's screwed, excuse my French here, but I think the government is so just like, I think they need to get chopped. Their wages need to just be chopped.
Yeah, if you start looking into how much MPs are paid, I mean, it literally makes my eyes water, because I think, what are you doing? Like,
they get paid so much.
In comparison,
it's so crap. They don't do much.
Yeah, in comparison to nurses and doctors and people who work with the NHS, you know, like, it literally makes me cringe, because I think it's just so embarrassing that our country values people who, quite frankly, do not give a damn. These people who are working 12 hours, 14-hour shifts,
24 sometimes.
Yeah. I know, it's terrible.
Like,
it is.
People go, if you don't
not to swear,
it's really hard not to swear, because you really want to, because the government is so bad compared to like I've always said, I'd never want a lot of money. Weird question, weird thing to say, but the reason why is because I love the NHS. I'm trying to go in for myself, weirdly enough, even though I'm not a massive people person. That's just another thing about me. But I don't want to work. I don't really like when I'm working with somebody. I don't care about the money. The money's not really the end goal for me. It's the person, it's people, it's whatever you're doing. If you're just running lab samples, which is most likely what I'm going to end up doing, but at least you're doing something worthwhile.
Yeah, 100%.
I do agree that that money shouldn't be, you know, the primary focus, but I don't think that any NHS worker should have to work multiple jobs in order to pay for rent and look after their families. That's what I'm saying.
Definitely. I also don't think that they should have to pay to park in the car park when they're at work. Looking after the people.
Oh my God.
Stupid.
That can you actually? I mean, that's a whole nother discussion as well. But how do they think that that's acceptable? That they now have to start paying again to go to work and look after the ill people? Who make? There's no words. There's no words. It's absolutely disgusting.
Dodgy to me. It completely seems dodgy to me that you'd have to pay for parking at a hospital in general, because imagine if you're going to the hospital to basically be with someone who is terminal.
Yeah.
And you have to worry about having the money for. it boggles my mind, because I think
it's beyond belief, isn't it?
Are you actually going to find them? Like, if they turn around and say, look, I'm really sorry, but I had to get in there really quickly because someone, you know, my mum or my dad or my whoever is going to pass away, would you actually be like, oh, I'm going to fine you?
Yeah.
It's
disgraceful.
It's just wrong.
It is wrong. It's really wrong. Another thing that's wrong with our blooming system and our government and whatnot. But yeah, I think on that note, we'll call it a day for this morning's Tea and Toast. I think we've had quite a interesting discussion today, ladies. What do you think?
Yeah,
it's been good.
Good.
Really good.
It's like now my Ben 10 changed.
Yeah.
I know. I feel a bit like that superhero conversation at the beginning was about 4 hours ago, because we've gone into other stuff, and that was yesterday. You know, I feel like a different person by the end of this this whole Tea and Toast today.
Oh gosh, I think next week then. I think next week is when we talk about the interview. That's going to be.
Yeah. So tune in next week. Well, tune in tomorrow, but also tune in next week for that.
Definitely. It's going to be a good one that you're not going to want to miss, I reckon. Get our gloves, our fighting gloves, ready to go.
Can someone just put a reminder on Discord when the interview is?
We'll remind each other so we can watch it, definitely. Right, ladies, thanks for this morning. It was lovely chatting with you all. Have a brilliant day, and everyone watching, thank you. We've had loads of people input today, which has been brilliant. We're back on again tomorrow, 10:30, with a whole new different discussion. So come and join us then if you can. If not, take care. We'll see you.